Alright everyone, today's the day. Today, as of this recording and editing and possibly uploading, this is the day that Trump will be turning himself in to the Fulton County DA in relation to the fourth indictment that was placed on him for election interference. Now, I've already made a video on the first indictment, the first time Trump was about to get arrested, and this was the Alvin Bragg case up in Manhattan, mostly in relation to the Stormy Daniels case, and him supposedly using hush money and flagging them as legal payments to his lawyer, Michael Cohen. There are so many other charges on this indictment, not just involving Stormy Daniels, but a lot of them were artificially inflated to felonies, and some of them are federal level charges. Then you have the second indictment, which is Jack Smith's case, which is in relation to the FBI raid that happened just last year at Mar-a-Lago, where Trump supposedly kept classified documents, and he was allegedly showing certain documents to some people and doesn't even have the clearance to declassify them or even show them to these unauthorized personnel. Although all we really have for evidence of that is just an audio clip. And the third and the fourth indictment are essentially just the same thing in terms of the 2020 election, except one is from Jack Smith himself, and the other one, which is the indictment we're talking about today, is in Fulton County, Georgia, which is Atlanta, in case people are wondering. But here's the real kicker in this fourth indictment, and this is essentially my evidence, my citing, my indication that this could just be persecution towards Trump. The fourth indictment on Trump, and this is not just an indictment on Trump, this is an indictment on Sidney Powell, Lin Wood, Rudy Giuliani, maybe even Mike Lindell. And we've mentioned in the first video talking about the first indictment that a president has never been indicted before. A US president, former or sitting, has never been arrested before in US history. So not only this is the first time a president has been indicted with the Alvin Bragg case, not only we have the first time a president has been indicted twice, and not only this is the first time that a president has been indicted 3 or even 4 times, or even the first time that a president gets his mugshot taken and fingerprinted, which the Fulton County Sheriff has confirmed will happen, and we have been seeing mugshots of Trump's others being taken and released as well. All of these people have essentially been charged with RICO. Yes, Donald Trump just got RICO'd. This is the first time we saw a US president charged with racketeering and had RICO invoked on them. Now, before we talk about what's going to happen, because there are currently protests happening in Fulton County on both sides, the people that love Trump and the people that hate Trump, and I expect this to continue for about a few days, maybe this entire weekend. Today will not be the only days we're going to see protests on this indictment. And I know some of you guys are willing to protest if you are within the Atlanta area, but I still want to give you guys this brief disclaimer. If in any way you see Antifa wreaking havoc, or you see the Proud Boys wreaking havoc, if you see any far left factions or far right factions, if somebody tells you to go into a federal building, or to run amok, or to throw a Molotov, or throw a rock, or if you see any fringe activity, far left or far right, do not in any way, under any circumstances, partake in it. If you see Antifa doing some shit, run away. If you see the Proud Boys doing shit, run away. If you see Antifa and the Proud Boys fighting each other, run away. Stay as far away from these people as possible, and do not listen to anybody telling you to march into a building or to partake in any of these activities. Don't. You will end up getting arrested if you attempt to intervene with anyone attempting to rock the boat and stir things up. If you want to protest, make it peaceful, and stay safe out there. That's all I gotta say. Now, before we talk about what's gonna happen and talk about the mugshot and whatnot, let's go in depth of what this fourth indictment is essentially all about. Fake electors and racketeering. Now, fake electors is an interesting one because alternate electors have been a thing for a while now and have been brought up actively by both parties before when they don't get the election results that they like. For instance, we've seen this happen before in the 2000 election with Al Gore in Florida, leading to a Supreme Court case, which he ultimately lost in Bush v. Gore. I mean, not like it subsequently led to 2 airliners flying into our buildings and killing thousands of people, leading to an unnecessary war in the Middle East in fear of weapons of mass destruction, and Katrina, Rita, and Wilma. What a fun and great childhood we had, fellow 2000s kids. Anyway, the idea that Donald Trump phone calling down to Georgia, and if you look at the actual context of his so-called perfect phone call, as he puts it, and asking them to verify the results of an election, the fact that they would even charge him with a crime attendant to that doesn't even make any sense. It is not illegal to request such a review. This is exactly what Al Gore did back in 2000 with Florida. The whole idea is that Trump was trying to tamper and fuck with the results in Georgia, a razor-thin race with a razor-thin margin of victory for Joe Biden. Same situation in Florida in 2000. Razor-thin race, razor-thin margin of victory for George W. Looking to see what was going on behind the scenes and asking to verify results, whether there was fraud or not happening there, is not against the law. And it's not clear that the devil went down to Georgia and he was looking for an election to steal. Great song, by the way. It's not even clear that Trump personally flew his ass to Georgia and he approached some random people and personally told them, hey, I want you to pretend that you're an elector so that way you can fuck with the results in Georgia and hopefully we can trick them into giving me the state. Here's billions of dollars, go pretend to be an elector. That's actually illegal, number one. Number two, even if Georgia did flip in favor of Trump, it wouldn't have had any impact on the national election. It would have tilted the balance in favor of Trump just slightly, but not enough to get him to 270. So it wouldn't have mattered anyway. Neither would have Arizona mattered. Even if Trump did manage to win Georgia and Arizona, he wouldn't have won the Electoral College still. It would have taken both Georgia and Arizona, plus Pennsylvania and or Nevada, or a couple of other less important states. That's what it would have taken. Where are the concurrent attempts by Orange Man in these other states? The reason why he focused on both Georgia and Arizona specifically was because he saw that there was more evidence of monkey business going on in just those 2 states. If in your mind, you can see that there's more evidence of what you are claiming is found in those 2 states mostly, you can increase your focus on those 2 states to increase your odds of winning your argument. That's why Georgia and Arizona were in the conversations, in the whole conversation of voter fraud. Calling up and saying, hey, we think there's something going on in your state with regards to the election. There are some ballots down there that need to be reviewed. Can you find them? How is that a crime? It's a request. Again, this is what Al Gore did in Florida. I wouldn't really even call it stealing a state, just asking a question, and if knows the answer, then knows the answer. Even if you investigate and find no evidence, that means knows the answer. He didn't attempt to use his office to order the state of Georgia, which you can't even do because separation of powers and the 10th Amendment, especially when electoral issues are exclusively state issues anyway. He can't command anything to happen. He can't order a state to do something. It's against the law. Where's the evidence that he did anything with regard to the fake electors? There really isn't any. And of course, I can't talk about this indictment without mentioning RICO. Of course, they needed to find a way to justify even more federal level charges on Trump. Find him a charge that can definitely get him booked for a very long time, if he's ever convicted with it. So they decided to go with racketeering and invoking RICO, as if he's like, some sort of like mobster. He's like this evil, big mafia godfather, operating multiple businesses across the globe just to do illegal activity. In my perspective, as an American, this is just plain old persecution. You've got Alvin Bragg's case in Manhattan, in which misdemeanor charges like hush money and fraudulent payments that will fall through if the proceedings are anything approaching fair, because quite clearly all of the data is easily documentable, and they've been artificially upgraded to felonies, and some have even been bumped to federal level charges. I don't think anybody would give a shit about a president sleeping with a porn star and cheating on his wife. Then you've got Jack Smith's case, which refers to the Mar-a-Lago papers and so forth, leading to the FBI raid last year, alleging that Donald Trump was showing other people's state secrets related to Iran and whatnot, stopping World War III in the process. By the way, even if he is completely goddamn guilty of that, not my concern. Preventing a nuclear war from happening seems quite a bit more important to me than waving around and showing everybody some several-year-old classified bullshit that no longer really has any relevance. We really don't have any adequate evidence beyond an audio clip for that one, which is really to say evidence of pretty much nothing at all, unless you have witnesses to prove otherwise, which you don't. We do, in fact, have Smith making claims that Trump tried to scramble the servers. He's moving all these papers around. He's lying about declassifying these documents. I mean, certainly there are some charges in the second indictment that he could theoretically be found guilty of. Some of your claims are, in a way, true, although it really isn't necessarily the best defense that one can put out. Because under the Presidential Records Act, he could be able to declassify anything he wants while he's president, and he can take those as his personal records, with the exception of course, the Iran papers, which, again, we have no evidence that was shown to anyone besides an audio clip. Now we have this stuff coming out of Georgia, and this probably won't be the last indictment. We could see more indictments. You know, the state of Nevada could sue him. Katie Hobbs in Arizona could try to indict him, along with Kari Lake. You know, Congress could repeatedly subpoena him. At this point, pretty much anything can happen. But when you're looking at all these indictments and the amount of times Trump has been indicted already, he just keeps rising in the polls. Now, the partisans are obviously going to keep their opinions on this whole situation, and they're not going to change whatsoever. Like, libtards and leftoids are going to be like, yes, 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 Trump's going to get arrested. We've got him this time, boys. Orange Man is in prison. And of course, all the Trump fans are going to be like, aw, man, they're trying to get our boy Trump, bro. How could they do this to him, man? This is exactly why you see protests going on in Fulton County right now. They're either protesting the indictment and showing their support for Trump, or you'll see people celebrating the indictment but are protesting Trump anyway. Again, if you're one of these people protesting, please stay safe and don't partake in anything that will get you in trouble, because there are still some enlightened ones that want you in a jail cell too. So within the next few hours, we should be expecting Trump to arrive here on Trump Force One. He's both going to be welcomed by, of course, his supporters, and he's also going to be jeered at by some of the liberal counter-protesters that are there as well. So he'll show up at the Fulton County Courthouse, and there's going to be a lot of photos, obviously. He, of course, won't be in handcuffs, and he's going to wave at the crowd and smirk, probably. It's going to be just like his famous escalator wave moment right when he started his presidential campaign in 2015. He'll get fingerprinted, and then he'll get his mugshot taken, and then fucking-taneously, the absolute immediate second that this mugshot photo drops, it's going to be on every goddamn paraphernalia you can even fucking imagine. And here's the funny thing. The funny thing is, it's going to be on both libtard paraphernalia and on MAGA supporter paraphernalia. You're going to be having competing memes as far as the Trump mugshot goes. It will be one of the most seen pictures in all of world political history, and it will go down as one of the most iconic political photos in history. And Trump abso-fucking-lutely loves it. I guarantee you, once that mugshot is finally released, he's going to turn it into campaign merchandise almost immediately. It's probably going to be his first tweet that he posts when he returns to Twitter. And just so you know, the thumbnail of this video will be Trump's mugshot, so once it inevitably releases, hopefully after I'm done recording this video, that mugshot is going to be the thumbnail. No additional text, no additional editing, it's just going to be the mugshot. So yeah, Trump is expected to turn himself in and get his mugshot taken just by this fourth indictment. But really, when you are looking into it, this is just nothing but kangaroo court persecution. I mean, a presidential candidate shouldn't be indicted that many times, or even charged with RICO. And again, it's helping him in the polls. Not just in the primary, but in the general as well. There are some Americans out there that understand the situation. They don't really like the Biden administration too well, and when they're doing this to a presidential candidate, what are they really thinking? Donald Trump is not a threat to your democracy. Donald Trump did not try to destroy your democracy. I know I hear that a lot all the time from MSNBC. He tried to destroy democracy. If he's elected again, he might not leave office. He's going to stay into office and turn himself into a dictator. And he can't run again. Why would he ever leave? He'll be thrown in jail the second he leaves. And he's going to press the little red button for good measure. Just so we are aware, that ain't the way that reality works, bro. Me personally, as an American, as a legal voting age American, the only people trying to destroy our republic right now, the only people that I see that are a threat to the republic are the government themselves. The same people trying to persecute Orange Man. Why do you think MAGA is a thing to begin with? Because people understand that the government, for a better part of a few decades, has been nothing but inefficient, comprised of neoliberals and neocons that care more about interests of their donor class and the special interests, and at the same time, works to actually take the rights of their own constituents away from them rather than expanding upon their freedoms and give them more of a selection and an active participation in their lives. Don't believe me? Take a look at the Patriot Act. It's exactly what led to the Tea Party, what led to Occupy Wall Street, what led to Gamergate, the Ron Paul Revolution. All of these movements effectively merged around the tail end of 2015 and became MAGA, or America First. At this point, Trump has already cemented himself as the GOP nominee. All these other candidates don't even stand a chance. Yes, I like Vivek Ramaswamy. The dude's probably going to be Trump's VP or Secretary of State or somewhere else in the Trump administration at this point. Trump's core fan base in the GOP are not wrong. It's DJT or bust at this point. At this point, any independent voter or any other American that doesn't climb on board the train is nuts. And I've gotten a lot of messages lately to cover these indictments, and people that are saying that they're voting for Trump more than ever now. And keep in mind, some of these people are Clinton, Obama, and Biden voters. Again, one person doesn't get attacked this much and persecuted this hard and propagandized nonstop by the system unless they're genuinely against the system and the system goddamn hates them and is fucking terrified of them. I mean, take a look at the debates from last night. Goes to show you the big picture of things. But with all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed, be sure to hit that like button down below. And if you're new around here, be sure to subscribe to the channel and ring the little notification bell. Be sure to follow me on all my social medias. Links are in the description below. Share this video around with your friends, families, boyfriends, girlfriends, enemies, whomever. Definitely helps me out a lot, helps the video grow, and helps grow the channel if you share this video with whomever you know. Don't forget to leave all your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below, as I always end the conversation down to you about what do you think about this entire situation. And if you disagree with me on something, please let me know down here. And if you want to connect with me more, I also have a Discord server, which I will leave in a link below, as well as in a pinned comment. Here you can hang out, chit-chat, play video games with me, and even send me some news tips and video ideas on what to cover for a future video. Feel free to send me some tips here, but anyways guys, like, subscribe, ring notifications, and until then, take care, talk soon, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.